This is the official Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley prediction video. But the first thing that you're gonna notice is that I did something a little different on this video. As opposed to me just standing in front of the camera talking, I actually tried to integrate video clips into this video. It's just a way, you know, for me to give y'all a visual of the type of things I look at when I analyze the way that a fight is gonna go. This video is broken up into 3 parts. The first part will basically be an introduction to both fighters. I'm gonna go over their records. I'm gonna explain some of the good things that they do, and we're gonna look at some of the tendencies that they have in the ring. The second part of the video is gonna go into the do's and don'ts of each fighter, basically which each fighter needs to do in order to maximize their chances of winning. Part 3 is going to be me coming in front of the camera talking about you know, who I think is going to win the fight and how it's going to play out. So it's a long video, so I suggest, you know, you guys get some popcorn, get something to drink, whatever you do for fun. And once again, thank y'all for checking this video. At the end, you know, rate, comment, tell me what y'all think. All right. I will start my discussion with a breakdown of Timothy the Desert Storm Bradley. He hails from California. He's 5'6" and has a 69-inch reach. He has good wins over fighters such as Junior Witter, Kendall Holt, Nate Campbell, Lamont Peterson, Devin Alexander, and his most recent victory over Joel Casamayor. He has amassed a professional record of 28-0 with a 1 no contest. People that are unfamiliar with Bradley may think that this fight is a mismatch, but I'm here to let you know that Timothy Bradley is nobody's pushover. At his best, he can compete with anybody. Tim is a very athletic person. He is fluid in the ring, switching effortlessly from conventional and southpaw. When he chooses to use his legs, he circles his opponent while jabbing. This usually sets up his underrated straight right down the middle. I've seen this punch stun Lamont Peterson and Devin Alexander. When he uses his legs, he is also able to shorten the distance between himself and his opponent. Often, he finds himself on the inside, while on the inside, he usually goes to the body. And as a body puncher, he is very effective. On defense, Tim can also be effective. He has good reflexes and timing. This makes him a good counterpuncher. Tim also takes a page from other great defensive fighters when he angles himself while vertically moving his upper body. Tim also uses his legs to control distance on defense. When he feels that you're about to attack, he sometimes steps back right out of range. This little move allows him to effectively counter with the straight right or sneaky left hook. Honestly though, I feel that Bradley's best attributes cannot be measured. How can you measure determination, heart, dedication, or willpower? If these attributes could be measured, Tim will rate off the scale in each category. Tim is not the fastest, he is not the strongest, and he is definitely not the most technical. With this in mind, I ask, how does he break other fighters' will? I think he does this with the attributes I mentioned earlier. This brings up another question. How far can these attributes take you? Can determination carry you to a victory against a fighter who has so many advantages? For the answer to that question, I believe we're going to have to look at something that's very interesting. And this just, you know, gives you a little insight on the mind of Timothy Bradley. Check this out.
Like everything that I've worked for is finally here.
I think he appreciated it, but he always have a humble beginnings. He always stayed humble about it. Money was very tight at the beginning. I mean, Tim had to work. You know, he's working as a service waiter and stuff.
I was just doing, you know, Inland Empire, just ballroom fighting. You know, and I mean, we were living just pretty much paycheck to paycheck, just struggling.
You know, it was real tough. It was real tough. But like I say, when a man's determined, he's going to do whatever he got to do to get the job done. So
I mean, that's what kept the fire in me. You know, I was like, you know, if I get my opportunity, you know, there's no beating me. They can't win. You know, they cannot win. Well, the fight that changed everything was the Witter fight. I was like, man, that's a lot of money, you know? That's a lot of money. If they're gonna pay me this amount of money to fight, you know? My bank account was probably at like negative. I couldn't be denied. Either your family gonna eat, his family gonna eat, or my family gonna eat. And my
This brings us to Manny Pacquiao. Manny is 5'6½". He has a 67-inch reach. He's from General Santos City. He's 54 victories. 38 of these victories come by knockout. He has 3 losses and 2 draws. In his career, he has victories over Juan Manuel Marquez, Shane Mosley, Antonio Margarito, Joshua Clottey, Miguel Cotto, Ricky Hatton, Oscar De La Hoya, Marco Antonio Barrera, and Eric Morales. Manny Pacquiao is considered by most as the #1 pound-for-pound boxer in the world. For years, Manny has challenged himself inside of the ring. His resume looks like a who's who in boxing. Over the last 10 years, he has developed a cult-like following. Manny is so loved because he is seemingly fearless. He is humble, and he lets his fists talk in the ring. Manny is a naturally gifted fighter. He is very fluid. He possesses dynamite in both hands and has dazzling foot speed. These gifts make Manny one of the most dynamic offensive fighters in boxing. He often overwhelms his opponents, punching from strange angles with speed and power. His volume puncher usually forces his opponents into a defensive shell. Once in his shell, he just runs off combinations. Pac-Man also has great timing. He uses his timing to land devastating counterpunches. Manny doesn't have a great jab, but he has a perfectly timed straight left. He uses this punch to break fighters' rhythm and to slow down aggression. Over the years, he has developed a right hook. This punch is also used to stunt opponents' aggression. He used this punch to knock down Ricky Hatton. On defense, Manny likes to go into a shell and cover up. His defense often provides an opening for his opponents. This is probably the weakest part of his game. But without this deficiency, I honestly do not believe that Manny would have the following that he has. It's that we like the fact that he battles with his opponents. Gets hit, he hits them. They hit him, he hits them right back. It's this back and forth seesaw action that makes Manny Pacquiao's fights very, very, very interesting and entertaining. Welcome to the Keys of Victory section of the video. In this section, I will discuss the things that each fighter must do to maximize their chances of victory. I will also go over the things that both fighters must avoid. This section will begin by discussing Timothy Bradley. On June 9th, Tim must move. He must move his head, he must move his body, and he also must move his feet. He cannot afford to stand toe-to-toe with Manny Pacquiao. Manny loves to throw combinations, and when you stand and trade with him, you're playing right into his game plan. In the following clip, you will see what happens when a fighter stands and trades with Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao.
Cotto popping Pacquiao against the ropes. So far, round 4 has belonged to Miguel Cotto. Now here comes Pacquiao beginning to open up his offense. Little body shot with the right hand.
Pacquiao seems to be taking Cotto's shots. Well, we'll see if they accumulate over the course of the fight. That doesn't appear to be a short one.
Not so far, although anything can happen at any moment.
Very seldom I saw a fighter that can fight the way Pacquiao can fight, moving in and out, punching from all angles, and a variety of punches, and everything from a rhythm.
The next clip will drive home my point. Antonio Margarito attempts to walk Manny down. What Margarito didn't know prior to the fight was that Manny could not simply be walked down. Antonio moves in with his guard up, and as he gets close, Manny runs his combinations, and after his combinations, he quickly changes angles. This tactic kept Margarito chasing the Pac-Man all night.
Powinien robić to właśnie Manny Pacquiao. O, tak jak w tej chwili. Szybkość w ataku. Ale czy to jest ten sposób, żeby zniwelować tę szybkość. Właśnie atak Margarito. Proszę, szybkie ciosy proste. Prawy sierpowy, lewy tułów. No proszę, mimo że bardzo szczelna jest ta garda.
In order for Bradley to have success, he must pick his spots. Many of Manny's fans believe that he just walks through his opponents. This may be true, however, Manny does take punishment in these fights. He takes punishment because Manny likes to fight in spurts. His opponents get hurt when he goes on an offensive outburst. Often, after these offensive bursts, he goes into a defensive shell. When we look at Manny's fights, we notice that it is during these breaks that he takes punishment. Bradley has to realize that he should be aggressive when Manny is in defensive mode. When we look at Manny's fights with Margarito and Cotto, we notice that he gets hit when he goes into this shell. People may believe that he's doing this just to bait these guys, but no one takes unwanted damage from punches such as Miguel Cotto or Antonio Margarito.
No blood. 3 hard body shots by Cotto. And the jab lands again. When Pacquiao starts throwing, Cotto lands his jab, or stops throwing, Cotto lands his jab. Now, when Pacquiao throws, Cotto goes into a little shell because of all the speed he's seen.
That's Manny's rhythm to go in and out and punch on his
Left
toes.
hook countered by Cotto, landed. Knocks Pacquiao back.
We've seen Cotto in these situations before, and he comes back. This is the most we've seen Pacquiao getting hit in recent fights.
Uppercut snaps Pacquiao's head back. Remember, Cotto has been down in the round and is trying to make it a 9-9 round.
Zaczepił tę linię Pacquiao, miał kłopot i wykorzystał to.
Ale trafił Manego lewym w tułów. No, jest w trudnej sytuacji Pacquiao. Bardzo.
To był taki moment, on zaczepił o linię ręką i wykorzystał to Margarito. Co nie jest za wymiana?
Last but not least, Tim Bradley must sell his feints. Against rhythm fighters such as Manny Pacquiao, feints go a long way. They break his rhythm and it throws off his straight left or his right hook. One of the many reasons that Manny has problems with Marquez is because Marquez has a great feint. On many occasions, Manny doesn't know when to counter or when to cover up. In the next clip, you will see a confused Manny. He misses a lot of punches, and he also gets hit with a lot of clean punches. This clip also shows how simple movement turns Pac into a basic 1-2 puncher. Movement limits Manny's dynamic punching angles and makes him look very beatable.
Señores, por lo pronto, a través de Box Azteca 7, tenemos que decirles que ADO Platino GLL, con servicios de entretenimiento y tecnología a bordo, presentan, sí, la tarjeta de la Malamita.
10 puntos para Manny Pacquiao, 9 puntos para Juan Manuel Márquez. Se desconcentró Márquez con lo del cabezazo y eso, espero que vuelva a la pelea. Tenía el control y tiene que retomarlo.
Aunque me gustó el cierre, por supuesto, me gustó el cierre de Juan Manuel Márquez. Ahí está, metiendo la combinación abajo, Juan Manuel Márquez, y ahí soltando metralla con la mano derecha. Juan Manuel Márquez atento, por supuesto, a los movimientos del Pac-Man. Ahí pistonea con la mano derecha Manny Pacquiao. Los dos peleadores están al 100% y más físicamente, así que ese no creo que vaya a ser un factor, pero sí es un juego de ajedrez arriba del cuadrilátero. Aquí en Las Vegas, Nevada, nadie quiere ceder ni un centímetro de terreno. Cualquiera de los dos está esperando la oportunidad. Y en la mano izquierda, en forma de upper. Esa no la conocía el Pac-Man. Y ahí soltando otra vez la combinación. Juan Manuel Márquez contragolpeando de manera eficaz. Julio César Chávez Lo está haciendo
que veo
Márquez.
desesperado a Manny Pacquiao, lo veo un poco descontrolado, que dice, ¿con quién estoy peleando? Otra vez, ya peleó 24 rounds, pero no le hay el estilo Márquez.
Está haciendo un buen trabajo, un trabajo de cirujano. Juan Manuel Márquez, cumplir 100 años es solo el inicio de otro más grande. Festejemos juntos los 100 años de Chevrolet y esta gran pelea que está dando Juan Manuel Márquez. Aquí, escuche al bien, dime algo Marco Barrera, luego de esta combinación de Márquez.
Muy bien Juan Manuel Márquez, está vivo para la pelea, le estaba invitando a entrar Manny Pacquiao, le entró con ese upper, lo remató con la mano izquierda. Muy bien, está vivo, está atento de lo que está haciendo.
Y trabaja con la mano izquierda Juan Manuel Márquez, le repitió la dosis bien, el de la capital de la República Mexicana, haciendo un buen trabajo. Juan Manuel Márquez, todo México está corazón abierto, la nueva producción de Azteca 13, lunes a viernes, 8:30 de la noche. Y vaya combinación, la derecha de Márquez estallando en el rostro del Pac-Man que acusó recibo del impacto Lama.
Ha ganado mucho en confianza Márquez, va creciendo con la pelea, es impresionante el control que está ejerciendo, por ahora todo bien.
Le repite la dosis el dinamita y con el juego de cintura se quita el intento de respuesta de Manny Pacquiao. Juan Manuel Márquez, la mano derecha estallando en el rostro de Pacquiao. El mejor episodio de Juan Manuel Márquez, el número 5 que está entrando a la recta final, pero la palabra confianza no debe de existir en el diccionario de Juan Manuel Márquez. Se terminaron 5.
In order for Manny Pacquiao to be successful, he must force exchanges. Manny throws the better combinations, and he also has the faster hands. In any exchange, Manny has a better chance to land something that would slow Bradley down. As mentioned earlier, Tim Bradley is a fighter. He fights with a lot of pride. He likes to intimidate in the ring. Manny should use this against him. In the following clip, you will see how Bradley throws wide combinations. This most definitely will backfire if he tries this with Manny Pacquiao. If he does this with Manny Pacquiao, actually, the fight could end very early. Just take a look at how wide his punches are.
Hard left hook by Bradley. Knocks Alexander back into the ropes. Devin Alexander grabs and holds for a moment. And now backs away.
Braden is putting lots of pressure, and as I said earlier, he's not punching from a long distance. He waits till he gets right in the chest of Devin Alexander before he punches.
He is a pit bull.
Yes, he's cut the distance down.
He fights and fights and fights.
Mindset of the two fighters.
Hard right hand by Bradley, best shot of the fight. Clean blood from Alexander's eye. Good right hook by Alexander.
Now Alexander is getting into it. Maybe we have liftoff.
Putting a little bit more Dijon mustard on those punches. Hard right hand by Bradley.
It will also be important for Manny to counter Bradley. Most of the time, Tim Bradley understands real estate in the ring. Sometimes he doesn't. It is during these times when he loses contact with his opponent, that is when he can be hit and hurt. Against Kendall Holt, Bradley threw combinations out of range. This left him open for counters. Kendall Holt capitalized on this twice, and both times he floored Bradley. If he loses focus like this against Manny Pacquiao, it will be a short night of boxing, guaranteed.
He's got sneaky power in his right hand and a very good, as you mentioned, Al, left hook. His jab, very effective when he uses it.
Yeah, even he acknowledges that he probably doesn't use it as much as he should, but he's accurate with it when he does throw it.
He can really snap the jab. Tight, high defense for Holt. Here's a young man that... Oh, left hook! No! He stretched him in the first round with the left hand, and Bradley, he'll take a knee and try to collect himself. We told you Holt had sneaky power. Let me see. This round, closing moments. Now they go at it. Bradley slipping. Whoa, look at a knockdown.
He may have been in with a punch. Bradley's... Oh, my.
Lastly, Manny Pacquiao must keep his composure in this fight. I can almost guarantee that there will be blood. Tim Bradley is a gritty fighter. He headbutts, he throws punches and clinches, and his fighting style can frustrate his opponents. Manny must not allow Bradley's tactics to take him out of his game plan. Manny must stay focused and fight his fight. 12 rounds can go by very, very fast, and as Bradley admitted, he is very strong at the end of fights. Manny does not want to get down on these scorecards and have to depend on a knockout to win this fight.
Very early in the round. Now that he's throwing the left hook to the body, they both arms of Nate Campbell. You can expect to do well against him.
Here's the question, though, Al. At 37 years old,
when making a fight prediction, I believe that it is important to look at both fighters' strengths and weaknesses. We must also look at both fighters' fighting style and ask, how will these styles mix when we put them in the ring? For fans looking for an exciting fight, I can guarantee that they will see action and blood. Both fighters like to come forward and throw punches. Tim Bradley leads with his head, so you can expect a clash of heads causing a cut. Manny Pacquiao fans are going to be surprised at the competitive nature of this fight. Manny looks spectacular against slow fighters who stand and trade with limited foot speed and movement. Against fighters that move, Manny's combination punching drops dramatically. Tim Bradley moves. The fact that he moves handicaps Manny's strongest trait. Bradley is also a good counterpuncher. While Manny's balance has improved, he still gets off balance and put out of position. Bradley has the foot speed and hand speed to effectively land straight rights, which in turn is his best punch. Mind you, this is the same punch that Manny constantly gets hit with. Bradley is also a very effective inside fighter. Traditionally, Manny covers up on the inside. Bradley also has shown the ability to throw combinations and grind on the inside. I can see Bradley scoring points on the inside while Manny covers up. Bradley also has a fighting nature. He can sometimes trade too often. His hands are slower than Manny's, his punches are wider, and he does not have the power that Manny has. This is why I see Tim getting hurt. This will also be the biggest fight of Tim's career. How will he respond to the pressure? Will he fold under the big lights, or will we see the birth of a superstar? If Tim Bradley can take Manny's punch, if he doesn't fold, if he stays patient, if he works his way on the inside, if he avoids trading, he will win. But you know what? That's too many ifs for me. I have Manny Pacquiao winning a close but unanimous decision. Tim will have his moments, but he will get hit with punches that slow him up. Tim will most likely get dropped a couple of times and get down on the scorecards. Tim will be game, but his fighting nature will ultimately sabotage the man.